turn 3 more pages back.
1.
Approximately. If I'm remembering correctly. So just turn it back.
C major or 4?
Before.
Little symphony?
This, I want to go on this page. Before, yeah. Let's start line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just keep going. Do that last measure. So on that last measure, after the first note, are you going down one note or are you skipping down a note? You're skipping down. Do you understand my question? The measure you just played,
I'm just finding where I'm what.
where you are.
You're skipping a note?
So
Or
you,
2?
okay, where do you skip the note?
From D to A, so you skip C and
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little trick here. So from here, can you see what we're doing? Okay. From here to here, right? Even if you didn't know the names of the notes, you see how this is on a line and then this is on the next space below it?
Yeah.
So this is not an A. I think you think it's an A because this flag covers up the bottom line. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So you thought that this was an A because you thought this was the bottom line, right? Sometimes people get confused. But if you look at it, this is one note lower than that. So it's just a step.
So this is an A, this is a C.
Right. Do you see how they're different? This
So
is on
the
the...
A is right here, but the C is up one more space.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
Make sense? Can we do that measure again? That's it. One more line. Next line. That second finger there, what's the name of that?
Oh, F sharp.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I'm hearing is that it would be nice to spend a tiny bit more time on this to be able to get through the lines without making mistakes necessarily, right? Like fewer mistakes. So what I would do is each day maybe take a page or 3/4 of a page or something. How old are you?
8.
Take how 8 lines.
I'm just about to turn 9 in about 2 weeks.
Well, good thing we're getting this done before you turn 9. And then, otherwise we have to do 9 lines. So we do 8 lines. And if you make a mistake on the line, you play the line again, just one time. Do not play it a million times.
Okay.
So at the most you'll ever play a line is twice.
Yeah, but if you keep on making mistakes, you'll have 4 hours of practice.
No, but I'm saying if you make a mistake, just do the line one more time. Don't do it 10 more times. We're not trying to master the line. We're trying to master our ability to read. Those are 2 different things.
Yeah, because if you did the whole book from beginning to end, and all of the lines were mistaken, and then you did them a million times, you would have like hours of practicing.
Well, I'm not opposed to hours of practicing. I'm opposed to you learning this so much that it's like you're practicing a piece and you're not practicing your reading. I have other reading books for you to do. We don't need to do this for reading. Once you've played it a couple of times, it's not reading anymore, it's practice.
Yeah.
Do you understand the difference?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to write what pages I want you to work through, okay? We're just going to take the harder ones. And then you guys have the first Etude album, right?
No.
That's the next book.
What's it called? Or I'll take
First-
a picture of it.
I don't have it. First Etude album. If you Google it, you can show me the picture, and then I'll be able to tell you if indeed you have the right one. It has a bunch of different composers.
Is it yellow?
Yeah, sort of dark orangish yellow and a brick red.
Harvey Whistler?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Truth is, you could do about a page, about 8 lines will be about a page a day, because some of the pages only have 6 lines and some have 10, so.
I just turned it
And I wrote 6 different pages there for you to practice.
Okay.
You ready? Hey, I think we should do your concerto, because Sunday's the big day. Are you excited?
Yeah, my teacher's trying to come. My other teacher.
Your other teacher?
Yeah, my school teacher.
Fun!
I have the music just in case so you can look through.
Thanks.
Right, yeah, the third grade teacher wants to come.
That's it. Oh, you mean, because you're in 3rd grade now, right?
Yeah.
Fun. Well, and I'm gonna go too. You know that?
Are you coming?
Yeah, I'll be
I
there.
thought you couldn't because it was switched to Sunday.
No. What I was just checking is that whether, because in an ideal world, I would show up for the dress rehearsal
So then
Right.
and I would show up to the concert.
Oh, that's true.
so
Right.
then it would be December 7th.
But you guys don't have a dress rehearsal.
The dress rehearsal is the same day. It's
Ah,
at
gotcha.
2:30. It's at 1:30.
Okay. I think with the Thanksgiving, I lost track. I should have come the
Yeah.
Saturday before, but actually that was canceled anyway.
Yeah, after
Right.
the
That's-
concert.
Actually, no, but yeah. I missed that one too because I thought they were going to do it during snack time and they did it in order of the concert. Ella's the first,
Part of their group, right?
she's the first solo,
Yeah, and the first solo.
which is good.
Yeah.
And
That
the
you know,
whole.
the whole wide world. Okay. So let's show me how you're gonna walk on stage. And you're not using the music, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes he offers the music to the kids. I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, so many people are using music. Almost everybody in YPC house. Not
You mean all the soloists? Yeah, but you don't need. Okay, so how are you gonna walk on stage? Want to show me?
She's going to be sitting in her orchestra chair, right?
So,
With
No.
her violin.
That's not how he's done it in the past. Because her orchestra isn't. They're sitting in the audience, so she'll be coming from the audience.
I haven't seen the program.
There's 2 pieces I think of the advanced group. Maybe it's the rest of the kids, but they all move off stage. And either way, she's.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh,
They
okay,
sit-
yeah, I forgot, you're right. He makes them stand off to the side.
Yeah.
So stand off to the side, kid.
I see you're getting ready for Christmas.
Yes, you can help me decorate the tree after your lesson, but right now I'm helping you get ready for the concert. Okay, so show me rest position. Okay, and you can walk on either way, but you just can't point your bow up into the air and accidentally stick it up somebody's nose. Okay, thank you. You walk on the stage. What are you gonna do when you get there? Then what do you have to do? Do you have to look at him to see if he's ready? See if the orchestra's ready?
Yeah, I just have to look at him like, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. Make sure you don't say, yeah, you're ready if you're not. Like, make sure your bow's ready. Okay. You did a couple of like you're getting ready, and then you did a breath to bring, oh, I see there's an introduction. There's an orchestra anyway,
Yeah.
but I think it still would be good if you did a little bit bigger breath. parts there. Is that to make it really sweet?
Oh no, it's sort of a sign of vibrato. We made it up.
I like it because, well, I think two things happen at the end. A heart kind of looks like a really lovely V, doesn't it? Right? But there's also a sweetness. It sounded like you were loving the notes.
Yeah, the reason why I got mixed up sort of around here was because we listened to the tape before we got here, and it sucks. He made it sound like the slurs sounded like just regular bows.
So you know what? If you accidentally do that, just do it for it. Own it. Just do it.
Okay.
Right? Nobody in the audience is staring at the music going, "Ooh, I think that was supposed to be a legato slur." They'll be like, "Oh,
well, they don't even know the piece. Some of them might.
They might, but they also, if they know it really well, like if they're a teacher or something, or another kid who's played it, they might go, that's an interesting idea. Maybe I'll try that." All right.
What happened?
Nothing, just keep going.
All right.
Okay.
Is my door open?
Yeah.
I think better to close it. The heat is on.
Annoying.
All right, so my one comment is going to be something that we're going to work on long term. I really like it. I want to make sure that the audience can actually hear it.
I know, I'm going to play way louder.
Than what you just did? You need to play consistently the same. Like, don't practice quiet and then get there and go, "Oh, well." Does that make sense?
You sort of changed your putting those signs up.
Yes, we'll talk about those signs at group
Okay.
class. Since you missed group class, I was going to do that, but you missed group class and so did somebody else. So I wanted to save it for when you're around. So when you play quietly, we want to make sure that we can still hear it. Right? So we want to be able to hear, but part of it too is that it should still have a solidness to it, right? So if we're quiet, and so, you hear the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just try right there. That's one of the quieter spots of the piece. No fuzz, no fuzz. Did you hear your bows just fluffing over the string? Yeah, now do it and keep going. Often you play it kind of loud at the beginning of your bow stroke, and then you fade away. Do you hear that? It's a, oh, it's right here. Yeah, and sometimes you're going to want the diminuendo, but we don't want. But you hear the difference? Too much fuzz come to the end of your bow stroke. Is this a... Yes! What do you think? I want a fuzz-free performance. And that doesn't mean louder. It means keeping the sound going once you start it.
And a thick tone.
Yeah, all the way through, even if it's quiet. So start at the beginning. I like when you go to the beat, not fuzz, but... crispy. Is it uncomfortable?
So it's pinching you.
How's that?
Good.
Yes. That was better, but we still want to make sure the B is louder than the G. Yes! Yeah. Now experiment, because we want this one, like you said, still to be thick, but it doesn't have to be loud, but still has some thickness to it. That's it! Yeah! Will you work on that? And whatever happens Sunday, don't even think about it. Just sing it in your head and play it along. You know the piece well enough. If the bowing changes, whatever. If there's fuzz, whatever. It's got, you sound great. And yes, there's still things to learn.
Yeah.
But you were 8, not 80. So you're not going to know them all. I'm sorry. That's just how it works.
Okay.
I'm not 80 either. I still have things to learn. And the truth is, maybe you live till 108. That means you've got a lot of time left to
Or
learn stuff.
208.
Probably not. That's not usually how it works.
And why is there even an age?
Well, there's just big numbers and people make fun of them. All right. Do you have any questions before we go on to your other repertoire?
Not really, no.
All right, so let's do your gavotte. Just sing it in your head. You've got it. What's freezing you for a second? You seem sad about something. Are you not sure what's next? Take a big breath. Big breath. Oh, is the bouncing frustrating to you? Okay, put your violin in rest position for a second. If you tell me what's frustrating for you, then as a teacher, I might be able to help it. Because that's my job, is to help you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's why you come here. Do you come here to play it perfectly?
No.
I hope not. That is not your job, okay?
Okay.
Right? Besides, if you came here and played it perfectly, then I would need a lesson because I don't play everything perfectly. Nobody plays everything perfectly.
Except some famous people.
No, they don't play things perfectly. They practice, they just practice and make a bunch of mistakes privately and then they perform it. Yeah, they're not at home playing things perfectly.
And they don't perform it without mistakes either, unless they make a CD and they do retakes.
That's true too, actually.
And if you only listen to CDs, you think people never make mistakes.
Right, no, they're making mistakes all over the place. Yeah, when the people make CDs, even for one piece, they play it over and over again. Oh, well, let's take that section over again. Okay, let's do that one. I think that one should be louder. Okay, let's do it again. That's what a CD is, how you make a CD. You don't go and play it once and walk out of the room. We have to get some videos for you of people making recordings to see how much work it is. Literally, like, people will stay all day just to make a recording of 1 or 2 pieces in a room. I mean, they get to go to the bathroom and eat lunch and things like that, but it's many hours. So if you're making a mistake, that makes sense. That would mean that you're a human and not a robot. Are you a robot? Is there something I should know about you?
No.
Okay. So I know it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be sad. If you're sad, you're sad. But I want you to understand that maybe you're putting more pressure on you yourself than you need to, right?
Yeah.
That I think you think that as a violinist you're supposed to be able to do something, but as a violinist, what I want you to do as your teacher is I want you to be able to notice your mistakes, pick which ones you want to practice, and then work on them. All right?
Okay.
And you're going to make mistakes. If you don't learn anything. So what I'm noticing, and you tell me if this is what was frustrating for you, you're having a hard time bouncing your bow, having it sound the way you wanted it to sound, and changing strings easily. Like when you bounce, it's harder to change strings. That's a given for everybody. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'd like you to do is just play through the rest of the piece so I can sort of in my head gauge what I want to practice with you. And then you can also tell me what you wish was easier. And we'll put those things together and we'll make a practice plan for this week.
Okay.
So let's start that second page. Same thing here. You're having a hard time with this, right? So make a mental note. I want to practice that later. And I'll make a mental note too, and we'll work it on it in a minute, okay? So just finish up the page. Breathe.
Ella, can I say something? Maybe also I was wondering if you make a mistake, maybe don't take it out on your violin. Like your violin didn't do anything. I kind of see her putting the bow back on, kind of.
Yeah, that's okay. It's not hurting your violin. It's okay. It's really, okay. Yeah, let's. Okay. So take a moment.
Can you look at me for a second? Can I tell you something? I think you play beautifully, and I think you're really learning well. And I think it's really hard sometimes to want to show your teacher how hard you worked, and then it didn't come out the way you wanted. And Daniel's saying that she really likes it too, right? She wants to work on it with you.
Yeah. So it's okay. You can cry when we feel sad. That's one of the best
No,
things.
I just don't want to get my tears on my violin.
You'll do that. Okay. If you do, we'll wipe it off. It's okay. It's okay. All right. So take a big breath. I know you're sad. And it's okay to be sad. Take a big. But this is one of those spots, just like the other one, where let's make a note. I don't like this spot. I want it to be easier. Say that. I don't like this spot. I want it to be easier.
I don't like this spot. I want it to be easier.
Yeah. Tell me about the spot. What don't you like about the spot? Or maybe what's hard about the spot for you?
I'm not really getting the notes in tune.
Okay, so you really wish the notes were in tune. Yeah?
Yeah, but when they were, my hook bows didn't even turn out.
When they were in tune, your hook bows weren't turning out? Yeah. So what do you think my job is here in this spot, in this moment? Do you feel this sad at home when it's out of tune and the hook bows don't turn out?
Oh, I don't really have any mistakes on this part really
When you're at home?
no, not really.
So which makes sense, because when you come here, you're in a different environment, right, in front of me, and maybe what we do is I don't know if you get nervous, but we sort of think about things a little bit differently. And so that's part of why we have lessons too, it's one of the steps towards being able to play it in front of a bunch of people, is to play it in front of somebody who's not your family. And it's supposed to make it a little less comfortable, right? I don't mean that I'm supposed to like make you uncomfortable. I just mean I'm not your mother or your brother or your sister. Am I? Do I look like it? Yeah.
Just yourself.
I'm a little too old to be your sister. So it would make sense that you'd be a little less comfortable, and so then it throws you off a little bit, and it's great because it shows you where the places are that just are a little fragile, right? That you have to be careful with. So we take the places that we have to be careful with, and we practice them a bunch of times. Does it make sense? Yeah. So this is good. Now we know which part. We have 2 places we know we want to practice. This is great news. What's hard is when we finish the piece and we go, I'm not sure what to practice. Wouldn't that be frustrating?
Not really.
No, really? Not for you? Would be for me as a teacher. I'd be like, what am I supposed to teach her?
Then we could go into a different piece.
Well, that's true, but maybe if I didn't know, maybe if it still didn't sound quite up ready for a recital, but I didn't know what it is we needed to practice, that would be hard. I'd just send you home and say, play it a bunch of times.
Can I ask one more thing? Do you sometimes think, because you work so hard, that if you just play it a certain way, Daniel's going to say, oh, it goes in the review box?
Are you trying to get it in the review box? Is that one of your goals? Yeah? What do you like about having a piece go in the review box?
And I get to review it and have fun with it.
Then you don't have to work on it as much?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that might be more fun. Go on to the next piece, be done with this one, and kind of spent enough time on it, I'm a little sick of it. I get that.
Well,
But then we don't learn as much, right?
maybe
so-
when she first started, a lot of pieces went right in the review boxes.
Because they were so quick, they were so short, and
maybe
because
now they're harder and they don't go in so
And I
quickly.
played them before.
And you
Because
guys
when we
could
started
zip-
all over again,
yes,
it was like straight things went in the review box because I already played them.
right. So we were just checking in on them, and now you're learning them from the beginning. They're 4 times as
Well, I
long. They're
played-
5 times as hard.
But I did play these, but I sort of forgot how to play them.
Right, and my guess is you played them, but you didn't play them very well.
Yeah, same with the book 1 and 2.
Right, but these even more so because they're so advanced, right? No. So I think it's hard to be comfortable with mistakes, but maybe that's one of the things we could work on is you understanding how the brain works and how I work and how it's okay to be frustrated and sad. And I want you to understand that, don't be careful not to expect more inhuman things from yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a combination of things we can practice doing. But on Monday we're going to talk about learning, and it might help a little bit with what we're talking about. So after Monday's group class, if all of you show up, I will teach this stuff, and then we'll talk about it more in your next lesson.
Okay.
Deal?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and should we just practice? Since we stopped anyway, should we just practice that part with the double stops?
Sure.
Yeah. So one of the things we have to remember is that in order to do something well, when it's hard, is we have to think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes if there's more than one thing that's challenging, then we have to pick one or the other to focus on. And when then that gets easier, we can add on, like a layer cake.
Yeah, sometimes I just play the E string and then A, but without the C.
Like your bow didn't get on both strings?
Yeah, but when it gets easier, I try to add the C.
Yeah, and I would say that at this point you don't need to do that. You're beyond.
And also how I get my notes in tune, I play A, E for a double stop, then B, E, C.
You could do that, yeah. The other thing you could do is just put it down around any old place. Get it in tune. And then that A right here is going to go next to the 2. So just practice finding that 2. Now pick it up, so you have to find it again.
It's also my violin is just so shaky, I can't even really tell if it's in tune.
You mean you hear?
It feels sort of bumpy.
Oh, your bow on the string? That's because your bow is like that. Is that what you mean? Yeah, because your bow is a little crooked, but you're trying to keep it on the sweet spot. What do you think?
I thought I was more in tune.
Yeah, do that again. Pick up your second finger though, you have to practice finding it from nothing. What do you think? That was pretty good. So what you would do is you make it easier so that you can be successful. You slow it down, take a big breath and think about what you want. Just do a small spot like that, and then you repeat it in the easy form. Then you make it a little challenging, more challenging. Make it bigger, make it faster. Then when you've got that, you make it a little bit more challenging. You make the spot bigger, you make it up, put it up to tempo. Does that make sense? Yeah. So in this piece in general, I liked the piece. I think you did a nice job. I think it would be fun to do a little bit more with the dynamics, which is a little bit what we were talking about in your other piece, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then in the bouncing part of it, can I see your bow?
Yeah, but most bows were sort of made to bounce, sort of.
Some are made to bounce better than others, though. Yours is not very good. Yeah. So I want you to know that your bow is really, really, really hard to change strings in the air. So that's part of the problem. The balance of this bow is a little funky. Okay? So so the fact that you're having a hard time doing it, I'm having a really hard time too. Make sure it's not, this hair isn't too tight, it'll bounce better. If it's got a little bit of more give, otherwise it's like bouncing something stiff.
Well, part of the reason also is because I'm too close to the frog while I bounce.
No, you're not though. You're fine. You want to try it? Yeah, so just do your very best. Usually people learn how to bounce in book 5. So you do not need to have perfect bouncing. But in that particular part, it's hard because it's quiet and because of the string changes.
Yeah, but if I didn't do bounces, it would just be boring and like that.
Yeah, so it's worth the risk, don't you think? Yeah.
I bounced off my scroll.
Oops. All right. Do you have questions? Dynamics, bouncing, and then the double stop hook.
Okay.
All right, and then on Sunday, have fun.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Can you shake your feet? Make sure you bow on Sunday with your feet together. Thank you. A smile on your face, and where else do people smile? In their ears.